Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and let it out slowly. Let the noise of the modern world fade away. The notifications, the screens, the rush of the day. Imagine them dissolving into mist. You are no longer in your room. You are no longer in the present time. Tonight, we are travelers. We are ghosts drifting through the corridors of history. Feel the ground beneath your feet. It is not carpet or wood. It is stone. Ancient, cool, uneven stone. You are standing in the heart of the eternal city. This is Rome. Look around you. It is night. The air is crisp and carries the scent of pine trees and old marble. Above, the sky is a tapestry of infinite stars, the same stars that look down upon Caesars and slaves, poets and gladiators. The moon hangs low over the 7 hills, casting long silver shadows across the valley of the Forum. Listen to the silence. Once, this place was the loudest center of the known world. Here, politicians shouted for votes, merchants sold spices from the east, chariots thundered against the cobblestones, their iron wheels sparking in the sun. But now, there is only the wind whispering through the arches of the Colosseum. It tells stories of glory, of ambition, of a fire that burned so bright it illuminated the world for 1,000 years. Touch the surface of a nearby column. Feel the roughness of the weathered stone. It is cold to the touch. This stone has seen empires rise and fall. It has felt the heat of the great fire of Nero. It has felt the rain of 1,000,000 storms. It stands here, a silent witness to the passage of time. And in its presence, your own worries feel small, insignificant, like dust in the wind. We often think of Rome as a place of war, of swords and shields, but tonight we will find the peace within the chaos. We will walk through the quiet gardens of the Palatine Hill. We will sit by the fountains where water has flowed for centuries. We will watch the candlelight flicker in the windows of a small villa, where a scholar writes history on a scroll of parchment. History is not just dates and battles. It is a dream, a collective dream that we are all dreaming together. And as you listen to my voice, you are stepping into that dream. You are safe here. The walls of Rome are strong. The legions are watching the borders. Inside the city, there is order. There is law. There is civilization. So, pull the blanket closer. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. Let the heavy weight of gravity pull you deeper into the mattress. We have a long journey ahead of us, a journey of 1,000 years, from the first stone laid by Romulus to the final sunset of the Western Empire. Drift with me now, back to the beginning, back to the Golden Age. Let the night fade now. Let the moon retreat behind the 7 hills. Imagine the first light of dawn touching the white marble of the Capitol. The year is roughly 117 AD. The empire is at its zenith. From the mist-covered walls of Britannia in the north to the burning sands of Egypt in the south, there is one law, one currency, one language. This is the Pax Romana, the Roman peace, a time when a traveler could walk across the known world without fear, protected by the unseen shield of the legions. But here, in the heart of the city, peace has a sound. Listen closely. It is the sound of water. Rome is a city of water. 11 great aqueducts, like veins of stone, stretch out across the countryside, carrying fresh, cold water from the distant mountains. They march across valleys on high arches, defying gravity, bringing life to the metropolis. Close your eyes and hear the rush of the Aqua Claudia. Millions of gallons flowing every single day, endlessly, effortlessly, pouring into the great fountains at every street corner, splashing onto the cobblestones, cooling the air. The city wakes up slowly. The smell of baking bread drifts from the ovens. The streets are paved with smooth gray volcanic stone. In this era, Rome is not a ruin, it is a masterpiece of engineering and art. Emperor Augustus once said, "I found Rome a city of brick and left it a city of marble." And it is true. Everywhere you look, there is white marble reflecting the morning sun. Temples with tall, fluted columns rise above the terracotta rooftops. Statues of gods and heroes stand on every corner, painted in vibrant colors, watching over the citizens. There is a sense of permanence here, a feeling that this city was not built for a lifetime, but for eternity. Let us walk towards the Baths of Trajan. This is where the heart of Roman leisure beats. Imagine entering a vast hall, the ceiling soaring high above you, covered in intricate mosaics of blue and gold. The air is warm and thick with steam. The sound of water echoes off the walls, dripping, splashing, flowing. People come here not just to wash, but to rest, to talk, to exist. There is the tepidarium, the warm room, where you can sit on a heated bench and let the heat seep into your muscles. There is the caldarium, the hot room, filled with steam that cleanses the skin and the mind. And finally, the frigidarium, the cold pool, where a plunge into the chilly water awakens the spirit. Imagine the sensation of the water on your skin, the contrast of heat and cold, the smell of olive oil and lavender used for massage. In this golden age, luxury is not just for the emperor, it is for the people. Outside the baths, the city hums with a gentle rhythm. The forum is crowded, but from a distance it sounds like a low hum of civilization. Senators in white togas bordered with purple walk slowly, discussing the affairs of the state. Merchants display silks from China and spices from India. The world has come to Rome. Think of the roads, the Via Appia, the queen of roads, straight as an arrow, paved with precision, stretching out towards the horizon. These roads bind the empire together like the nervous system of a giant. A message sent from the emperor can reach the Danube frontier in days. An army can march from Gaul to Italy without breaking stride. Order, structure, discipline, these are the pillars of the Golden Age. It feels as though this summer will never end. The sun hangs high in the azure sky. The shadows of the cypress trees are short and dark. There is no fear of invasion here. The barbarians are far away, beyond the rivers, beyond the forests. Here there is only the certainty of Rome, the belief that tomorrow will be the same as today, that the aqueducts will always flow, that the grain ships from Africa will always arrive at the port of Ostia, that the sacred fire of the Vestal Virgins will never go out. Take a moment to absorb this feeling of security. It is a rare thing in history, to live in a time when the world makes sense, when the architecture is built to human scale, yet reaches for the divine, when wisdom is valued, and Stoic philosophy teaches men how to endure and how to be virtuous. Marcus Aurelius sits in his tent, writing his meditations by candlelight. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. His words float through time, as solid as the marble columns. As the afternoon sun begins to dip lower, painting the city in hues of honey and amber, the pace slows. The work of the day is done. The city prepares for the evening meal. Families gather. The noise of the carts fades. The golden light touches the top of the Colosseum, turning the stone to gold. Even that arena, a place of spectacle, stands silent and majestic in this light, a monument to engineering capable of holding 50,000 souls. But for now, it is empty, just a silhouette against the fading sky. This is the Pax Romana, a deep breath in the history of humanity, a moment of stillness before the inevitable turn of the wheel. But we are not there yet. We are here, in the warmth of the golden afternoon, safe,
surrounded by the strength of the empire. Let the image of the white marble city settle in your mind, perfect, unbroken, eternal.
The sun does not stay at its zenith forever. Slowly, inevitably, the golden light begins to stretch into long shadows. The warmth of the afternoon gives way to the cool breeze of the evening. We move now from the bustling streets of Rome to the quiet, gray frontiers of the north, to the banks of the river Danube. Here the air is different. It smells of damp earth, of cold river water, and of wood smoke. The year is 180 A.D. The Golden Age is ending, not with a bang, but with a whisper. Imagine a tent made of heavy leather, flapping gently in the cold wind. Inside, a single candle burns. An old man sits at a simple wooden table. He is wrapped in a thick wool cloak, his face lined with the weight of the world. This is Marcus Aurelius, the last of the 5 good emperors. He is the most powerful man on earth, yet he is alone. Outside, his legions are camped in the mud, holding the line against the tribes that gather in the dark forests beyond the river. But inside, there is only the scratching of a quill on parchment. He is writing a diary, notes to himself. Everything fades so quickly, he writes, and turns into legend, and soon oblivion covers it. He is tired. He knows that the peace he fought for is fragile, like a vase made of the thinnest glass, beautiful but ready to shatter at the slightest touch. Back in Rome, the mood has shifted. The streets are quieter now. A sickness has come from the east, the Antonine plague. It moves unseen, like a ghost through the marble city. It does not distinguish between the senator and the slave. The chatter in the marketplaces has died down to a murmur. The great baths are less crowded. There is a sense of unease in the air, a feeling that the gods have turned their faces away. The statues still stand tall, their paint bright, but the people looking up at them feel a chill that the sun cannot chase away. This is the time of the cracks, tiny, almost invisible fractures in the foundation of the world. The economy slows down. The coins contain less silver than they used to. The borders, once secure, now require constant vigilance. But there is a strange beauty in this decline. It is the beauty of autumn, of leaves turning brown and falling to the ground. Stoicism teaches us to accept this, to understand that nature is a cycle of creation and destruction. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, observe always that everything is the result of change, and get used to thinking that there is nothing nature loves so well as to change existing forms and make new ones like them. The empire is an existing form, and nature is preparing to change it. Imagine standing on the walls of the city at twilight. The sky is a deep, bruised purple. The first stars are appearing, cold and distant. You can see the smoke rising from 1,000 chimneys, a gray blanket covering the 7 hills. The noise of the city is muffled, like a clock that is slowly winding down. Tick, tock. There is no panic yet, just a realization that nothing lasts forever, not even Rome. The legions still march, their armor still shines, but the soldiers are tired. They look at the horizon and wonder what is coming. The discipline is still there, but the spirit is weary. It is the weariness of Atlas holding up the sky for too long. The marble columns seem a little less white in this fading light. The ivy grows a little thicker on the walls of the villas. Nature is waiting at the gates, patient and timeless. Let us sit with Marcus in his tent for a moment longer. The candle is burning low. The wax drips onto the wood. He closes his book. He blows out the flame. Darkness fills the room, but it is a peaceful darkness. He wraps his cloak tighter and closes his eyes. He accepts his fate. He accepts the end of his watch. The Golden Age slips away into history,
leaving behind the memory of a dream. And as the emperor sleeps, the long night of the empire begins, quietly, slowly, like the turning of a page.
The leaves have fallen from the trees. The harvest is gathered. Now the wind turns. It blows from the north. It carries the scent of snow and ancient pine forests. We leave the warm, sun-baked stones of Italy and travel to the edge of the world, to the great rivers, the Rhine and the Danube. For centuries, these waters were the border. On one side, civilization, roads and baths. On the other, the great unknown. But now, the air is growing colder. It is the winter of the world. The rivers, once flowing and impassable, are beginning to freeze. Ice forms along the banks, creeping slowly towards the center, turning the liquid barrier into a bridge of white crystal. Look into the mist beyond the river. Shapes are moving in the fog. Not an army of soldiers in uniform, but a sea of people. The Goths, the Vandals, the Franks. History calls them barbarians, a word that sounds like rough speech. But in this quiet night, we see them simply as people, families. We hear the creaking of wooden wheels on frozen mud, the lowing of cattle, the crying of children wrapped in furs. They are not marching for conquest. They are marching for survival. They are running from a shadow that has risen in the east, the Huns, a force of nature that pushes them against the walls of Rome like waves against a cliff. Imagine the sound of thousands of footsteps on the hard, frozen earth. Crunch, crunch, crunch. A slow, rhythmic beat that echoes through the dark forests of Germania. It is the sound of migration, the sound of an era ending. The Roman sentries on the watchtowers pull their cloaks tighter. They look out into the white void, their breath forming clouds in the air. They know that the dam is breaking. On New Year's Eve, the Rhine freezes solid, and the crossing begins. It is not a sudden crash, but a slow, heavy flow, like water spilling over a cup. The tribes move across the ice, their silhouettes dark against the snow, into Gaul, into Spain, into the heart of the empire. The lights of the cities begin to flicker and go out, one by one. First on the frontier, then deeper inland. The roads, once safe, become quiet. Grass begins to grow between the paving stones. The courier stops riding. The letters stop arriving. A silence descends over the provinces. It is a heavy, muffled silence, like the world covered in a thick blanket of snow. And then the unthinkable happens. The tide reaches the eternal city itself. The year is 410 A.D. Alaric, king of the Visigoths, stands before the gates of Rome. For 800 years, no foreign enemy has set foot inside these walls. Rome was thought to be untouchable, immortal, divine. But the gods are silent now. The gates do not burst open with battering rams. They simply open. Whether by treachery or by hunger, the Salarian gate swings wide in the middle of the night, and the Goths enter. There is no great firestorm that consumes the world, just the steady tramp of boots on the cobblestones. The city is asleep. The shock is not physical, it is spiritual. It is the shock of realizing that the protector is gone. Saint Jerome, writing from his cave in Bethlehem, hears the news and weeps. The city which had taken the whole world was itself taken. His words drift through the centuries, heavy with sadness. The lamp of the world is extinguished. But tonight, as we watch from the shadows, the destruction feels distant. We see the empty palaces on the Palatine Hill. The wind blows through the open doors where emperors once stood. Curtains of purple silk flutter in the breeze, ragged and torn. The statues look down with blank stone eyes. The gold is gone, the silver is gone, but the ruins remain. There is a strange peace in this aftermath, the peace of a house that has been abandoned. Nature begins to reclaim her territory.
Vines creep up the columns of the temple of Jupiter. Roots crack the marble floors of the Senate House. Birds build their nests in the triumphal arches. The frantic energy of the empire is gone, replaced by the slow, patient work of time. The winter is long. The fog is thick. The barbarians settle into villas, lighting fires on the mosaic floors to keep warm. Two worlds are merging, the old and the new. The Latin language mixes with the Germanic tongues. The classical world is fading, dissolving like sugar in hot water. It is sad, yes, but it is also natural. The sun sets so the moon can rise. Winter comes so spring can follow. We stand in the cold mist of the 5th century, watching the old world sleep under a blanket of frost, waiting for the dawn of the Middle Ages. But that is a story for another time. For now, let us rest in the quiet cold. Let us listen to the wind howling through the empty aqueducts, a lonely, hollow sound, the song of the end.
And so we come to the final act. The year is 476 A.D. The great storm of the migrations has passed. The waves have settled. What remains is a stillness unlike anything the world has known before. We are no longer in the grand city of Rome. The court has moved to Ravenna, a city surrounded by marshes and fog on the Adriatic coast. It is a place of hiding, a place of endings. Here, behind thick walls, the last flicker of the Western Empire burns. But the flame is weak. It dances nervously in the draught. Enter the throne room. It is a vast, echoing hall. The mosaics on the walls glitter in the dim light, gold and green glass, showing scenes of Christ and the emperors. But the room feels empty. The courtiers are few. Their voices are hushed whispers. There is a sense of waiting for the inevitable. On the great throne sits a boy. His name is Romulus Augustus. History has given him a cruel nickname, Augustulus, the little Augustus. He is only a teenager, perhaps 14 or 15 years old. Look at him closely. He wears the purple imperial robes dyed with the precious ink of sea snails from Tyre. But the robes are too big for him. They hang loosely on his slender shoulders. The heavy golden crown sits uneasily on his brow. He is a child playing a part in a tragedy written long before he was born. In his hands he holds the scepter of the Caesars, the symbol of power that once commanded legions from Scotland to Syria. Now it commands nothing but the dust motes dancing in the shafts of sunlight. Outside the gates there is no siege, no screaming horde, just a man named Odoacer, a Germanic general. He does not come to destroy, he comes to dismiss. He walks into the palace, his heavy boots echoing on the marble floor. Clack, clack, clack. The guards do not stop him. They lower their spears. The time for fighting is over. Odoacer approaches the throne. He looks at the boy. There is no anger in his eyes, only a strange kind of pity. He does not kill the boy. He does not imprison him. He simply says, "It is finished." Watch the boy, Romulus. He stands up. Slowly, with trembling hands, he takes off the crown. He places it on a velvet cushion. It makes no sound. He takes off the purple cloak. He lays down the scepter. He is no longer an emperor. He is just a boy again. He is free. Odoacer grants him a pension and sends him away to live in a villa in the south of Italy, to live out his days in peace, watching the sea, forgotten by the world. But there is one final task. Odoacer collects the imperial insignia, the crown, the scepter, the robes. He packs them into a wooden chest and gives the chest to a messenger with a letter. The letter is addressed to the emperor in the east in Constantinople, and the message is simple, yet it shatters the history of the world. The West no longer needs an emperor, it says. One is enough for both. Imagine the ship carrying that chest, sailing away from the port, watching it disappear over the horizon, carrying away the title of Caesar, carrying away the legacy of 1,000 years, going,
going, gone. The sun sets over Ravenna. The marshes turn a deep melancholic blue. The frogs begin to croak in the reeds. The lights in the palace are extinguished one by one. There is no explosion, no earthquake, just a quiet closing of a door. The Western Roman Empire has fallen. But looking around, the world looks much the same. The peasants still work the fields. The birds still sing. The stars still rise. Life goes on. But a spirit has left the earth. The idea of Rome, the idea of a universal order, a single light in the darkness, has vanished. We are left in the twilight, standing on the edge of a new era. The Dark Ages are beginning, but for now, in this moment of transition, there is only silence. A profound, heavy, restful silence. The silence of a story that has finally been told. The silence of sleep.
And so the story ends. The emperors are gone, the legions are dust. The shouts of the forum have been replaced by the chirping of crickets. But listen closely to the silence. Rome did not truly die. It merely changed. It transformed from a city of brick and marble into a city of the mind, into an idea. Every time we speak of justice, republic, or liberty, we speak in their tongue. Every time we walk on a paved road, we walk in their footsteps. They are still with us, ghosts in the machine of our civilization, silent guardians of the West. Imagine standing in the Roman Forum today. The moonlight touches the broken columns. They look like old bones rising from the earth. Ivy climbs up the arch of Septimius Severus. Wildflowers grow in the cracks of the Senate floor. Nature has returned. Nature, the patient conqueror, has reclaimed her stone. It is peaceful now. The ambition is gone. The war is over. There is only the soft wind blowing through the ruins, whispering the names of the past. Caesar, Augustus, Cicero, fading, fading, fading away. And just as the empire found its rest, so too must you. You have walked through the centuries tonight. You have seen the rise and the fall. You have witnessed the turning of the great wheel of time. Now let that wheel stop. Let the history books close. Let the heavy curtain fall. You are safe here, in the comfort of the present, warm, protected, still. Feel the weight of your body sinking deeper. Your breathing is slow, rhythmic, like the waves of the Mediterranean hitting the shore, in and out. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to solve. The world will keep turning without your help for tonight. Let the darkness cover you like a warm, heavy blanket. Drift away from the city. Drift away from the dates and names, into the velvet blackness, into the quiet. The fires of Rome have burned out. The stars are the only light that remains. Sleep now. Rest in the eternal peace of the ages. Vale Roma. Farewell. Good night.